Hey everybody, it's Tim with Broken Dice, bringing you a quick little channel update. More Romans. Redoing my old Roman army. It was done in haste. It was my very first attempt at historical wargaming armies. Um, and what I found out is I kind of have a method, a process. And I developed it over years doing GW games, the way I painted models. And what I thought when I first got into doing my historicals was I'm just going to change up. I'm not going to use washes. I'm going to just do these different things. Uh, the Army didn't turn out well. I think that sometimes you just need to stick to what you do and just do it better, and then add tools in and new techniques to an already functional toolbox. But I didn't do that. At that, I got in a big hurry because I really wanted to get them on the table. I think I was too busy trying to convince my other playing partners that this is the direction we should go, and uh, we should stay away from GW and all their shenanigans and stuff. Um, but I'm kind of glad I did it. So now I can, I look at my other later projects that I have done, and I can see through the different armies. Because I started off with the Roman army, then I did Persians, then I did Greeks. I've done my Iberians, uh, which was starting out as just allies for my Roman army, and then turned into a complete army itself. Um, but that's why I'm going back, because these guys are just so substandard. Uh, I just don't want to put them on the table right now, and I certainly don't want to do a battle report with them. So what I wanted to do is I don't want to repaint them, because that would be, stripping the paint and just, oh my goodness, that would be like taking on a brand new project and stuff, and I really don't want to do that because I got other projects I want to do this year, and this year is, for some reason, it feels like it's going by very quickly. So this is the latest unit I've done. Uh, I've added old Wargames Factory transfers, a non-oil wash. I've redone the basing, and since I didn't show you what they looked like before, I will get a unit that was similarly done, and you can see they're very plain, a very hasty paint job, no washes, no transfers. The base is just plain. Um, it's not what I'm used to my armies looking like anymore. So whenever I just look at it on the shelf, I don't know, little disappointed. So that's the next unit that I'm going to do. But let's talk about transfers, old transfers. In my last video, I talked about the LBM transfers and how old they were and how I'm trying to save them. Well, in this unit, I have some of the old Wargames Factory transfers, and that's what I used on this unit. And I will say these are very old too. I mean, this is like when that company first started off, and I jumped on and ordered a bunch of stuff, and so you can tell these have been around a while, and they've just been sitting in a plastic bag. So they're kind of similar in design to the way LBM does their transfers. They have that look like a plastic coating on top, the paper back. They didn't operate nearly as smoothly, and uh, because they're so old, once you started cutting them off and cutting out where the boss goes and the spine on the transfer from the shield, the back paper would just come off immediately. Which meant you had to be very careful and then cut out the shield, um, place it on, and then what I found was that the plastic coating, just like with LBMs that in age, sometimes this decal will adhere to that plastic overcoat and you can't get it off. And so that's what I did on the first cohort that I redid. I cut them out as they were, and then I used different glues to adhere it to the shield and didn't try to get that decal off because I mean it was on to stay. So, and I don't like having to throw stuff like this away, and I'm sure you don't either. So what happened with these was that I took, once I got that, let's use this. Once I got this all cut out, and I got one of these cut off, one of the shield transfers cut out, and that back paper came off because basically it's so old and dry. There was still a little tack to the actual transfer itself for the shield, but not really enough to hold it down. And then what happened was this plastic coating would not come off. And I could have left it on there, but it's a little different than the LBMs, so that really wasn't an option. So what I had to do was take a hobby knife with a very sharp point and just barely work that shield transfer up, the plastic coating up off that transfer itself. Very tedious. Took me like 2.5 days to do 12 shields because you could mess one up just like that. It was very tedious. So old transfers are difficult to work with. Of the two, I do enjoy, I wouldn't say enjoy is the right word. I deal with LBM's old transfers where you can't get the decal off the plastic is a little easier because these will go in two pieces. And so there's almost a natural split in the plastic without really changing up the decal much. I mean, if you get real close, but on the tabletop at a distance, it'll look okay. These not so much. These you really would have to get that plastic off. I don't know why, but I found it very difficult to try to glue that down without getting that plastic coating off. It's very difficult. So this may be the only unit with the old LBM transfers on there. I mean the old Wargames Factory, transfers on them. The rest will probably be Little Big Man Studios. I'll work with those. Just because I like the salvage method is a little less tedious. So that's where I'm at. I hope all your projects are going well. We'll get into my third cohort, which, like the first two, I didn't show you what they looked like to start with. So this is what they're going to start looking like, and then I'm going to do, like, the next video will show this unit with different basing, shield transfers on, a little bit of a wash. I don't know. We'll get them worked on. I'm going to have to paint the shields white so the LBM transfers look better on that. I do find that, like on my first unit, I got a little bit of the sepia wash on the white shields. Kind of gave it an aged look. underneath, um, like like that shield had been around a while. I don't know, just I did kind of like it. I don't think I would do a whole unit that way. I might just I don't think it's not going to hurt anything. It will give it a distinct look. It won't look nearly as clean, but I'm not known for my clean painting. I like my models to look dirty and used, and uh, that can paint look is my preferred method in painting. Um, that's why these guys have been darkened up quite a bit, because they kind of looked like that other unit, very white and clean and just very almost like block color like. Uh, that's kind of where I ended the process. So we'll see how that unit turns out. I have my method. I have a goal, and I'm going to try to stick to it. There may be like a model or two of the 54s I'm gonna paint up, because I've only got like, I think I've got four or five of them left to do, um, and then all that project will be done and behind me. Um, I shouldn't say that. You know that's not the case. God, I should never utter those words. I'll be finished. Yeah, that's not ever going to happen. So you guys stay safe, stay well. A few days, I'll have a new cohort up, and we'll talk about that adventure. See ya.